Hey, it's James Raby. We have to say something here, but I don't want to say much. Thanks for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio On Demand podcast. Love you. You plan a flight. You buy the tickets, you're ready to go, and then they cancel the flight, and you're like, what? So then maybe some of you think, I really got to get going, so I'm going to go rent a car. And this is where it becomes a smile of the day on the Y105 FM Early Morning Show. Hi, I'm James Raby. 4 strangers ended up driving from Florida to Ohio because their flight was canceled. Florida! And what happened is one of the guys went to get a rent-a-car, and 3 others had the guts to say, hey, you mind if we tag along? We'll help pay for the car. We're going to the same town. All right, cool. No problem. And the guy that rented the car named Greg says, we had a lot of cool conversations. No one had earbuds in. We weren't doing our own thing. We were all engaged and talking to each other. And that, to me, sounds awesome. And that's why it's the smile of the day on the Y105 FM Early Morning Show.
At Work Variety sounds like this.
Early Morning Show. I'm James Raby, and that's not going to be a real problem until overnight when it's also going to be drizzly and foggy. So tomorrow morning might be a slippery ride to work. Make sure you keep your eye on Y105 FM's app and the traffic reports. So what is the funniest thing that happened to you in 2022? That's the question this morning. What you got for me, Bailey?
We were down at the beach, and we were walking along. There was a big log that went across the sand, okay? And so I'm doing real well, and I don't know what I did, but somehow my foot got stuck in like this little tiny branch, and I went backwards, and I landed on my back, and it wasn't bad because it was sand. But my son looks back, and he said, all I saw was your 2 feet sticking up. He said, I had no idea what was wrong.
Oh, that's a good story. Thanks for sharing that. And Julie, we've been waiting all day to hear your story. Let's go.
When we were moving, it was snowy, and I was carrying in a box, and I slipped and fell right in the mud. Mud from head to toe. It was in my hair, in my ears. It was all over. It was horrible. Everybody else was laughing.
Oh, yeah.
They thought it was hilarious.
Yep. And hope now, obviously, a little time later, you find it pretty hilarious. It is Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. I'm James Raby. You got a funny story from this year? Let's hear it. 507-292-1053.
Grab your family and friends for a fun time snow tubing. Ironwood Springs.
Hi, it's James Raby. You're listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show. I shouldn't say goofy. Most unusual. Let's go with that, because right now I am talking to a guy named Frank. Frank has called in plenty of times on the show, and he and I were just chatting about roads tomorrow, which could be quite slippery. And I said, got any New Year's resolutions? And he says, no, but then he had this story. Go ahead, man.
A guy about 10 years ago told me he was going to give up his vehicles and his bike, and he was going to walk everywhere for the entire year, whether it was to work or to the library, gas station, wherever. He was going to walk.
Cool.
To save money and get in shape. And for 7.5 months, he did it. And then he was walking and he broke his leg, so he couldn't do it anymore. But for 7.5 months, he kept his New Year's resolution, and I thought that's an awful lot of willpower to do that.
Yeah.
And we all thought it was pretty cool that he tried.
Yeah, well, and he would have made it. It just, a broken leg gets in the way of that kind of thing. But that's awesome. Thanks for calling that in. Do you have an unusual, funny, weird, whatever kind of resolution you've made or someone you know has made? Would love to hear about it. Give me a call in the studio, 507-292-1053. It's the Y105 FM Early Morning Show. Tomorrow morning can be a slippery mess. Find out why next.
The music you know.
Yeah, we're going to have fog and drizzle for a while. Then the fog will take a break for like 2 hours around noon, and then it'll kick back in around 2 o'clock. So it's a fog break. And we're going to have a high today around 37, and you can expect some drizzle most of the day. Chance of drizzle and freezing drizzle overnight tonight. It's going to be foggy and 17. Now, that means it could very well be a frosty. Maybe that's what it should be called. When it's freezing and it's frosty. We're going to have a frosty day tomorrow. It's gonna, that could easily turn into a very slippery situation with the patchy drizzle and the 17 degrees. So when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be 28 and sunny. But driving to work, moving along, could be a little bit tough. You'll have to check Y105 FM's app to see what the road conditions are. Right now, it is 35, and you're listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show on the weird thing her brother resolved to do for the new year. Hi, it's James Raby on the Y105 FM Early Morning Show. We're taking all the questions and thoughts and whatever you have on the Y105 FM app. You can just hit chat or the little microphone. And we were talking about the unusual resolutions, and you got to check out this message.
Get a traffic ticket in all 50 states. My brother, he was determined that he was going to be able to get a speeding ticket in all 50 states. So he set out on a quest one year. Now, nothing like a major violation, just a little speeding ticket. Well, he wasn't very successful because he didn't have the opportunity to drive in Hawaii, because you fly there, you don't drive there.
Right, and you got to rent a car and all that jazz. Well, what a failure your brother is. You got 49 states? And what did it cost him? Just a little speeding ticket. Come on. I couldn't afford 49 speeding tickets, for great corn's sake. You're listening to Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. The 8 a.m. All Music Hour kicks off next.
Stay on Santa's nice list this season by making sure your holiday waste goes to the proper...
Raby, and I bet you're saying to yourself, James, what delicious piece of information do you have for us today? Well, it could be a rabies shot. I just found out that Kim Kardashian has uniforms for her employees. Not for, restaurant employees. I'm sure she owns a restaurant somewhere. But just the people that are around her, interns, and maybe she's got a few accountants and stuff, they have uniforms. According to her, I give all my employees a color palette they must adhere to. They can pick from grays, heather gray, black, navy, white, cream, khaki. I mean, we can stick with all the neutrals. Not a lot of color blocking. If you're running a business like that, I can understand a dress code. Well, you got to be in professional gear, or you got to, business casual, whatever. But all the way down to the colors, because that's what you like seeing your employees in. I just think that's a little odd. Is it just me? Is it just me? I think it might be just me. It's Y105 FM.
The music you know.
South of Waterloo. Waterloo. For the Doughhead Report, the rabies shots here on Y105 FM's Early Morning Show. The Doughhead, and we're not judging here. We're just noticing that this cat was caught going 120 miles an hour. Whew, such a doughhead. And he did have a pretty good excuse, though. He said to the officers, well, I was listening to a really good song on the radio. So half of my heart's like, oh, I've been there. I know that. But the other half is like, dude, you're a doughhead, man. You should have told everyone it was Y105 FM. That would have gotten you off. It's Y105 FM.
Update the lighting in your home and save big right now at...
Hey, it's James Raby. Thank you so much for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio On Demand podcast. I hope you'll subscribe and tune in Monday through Friday between 6 and 10 for more fun than you can shake a stick at.